8, 9 and 10. minutes out of the game.
Help us level the playing field. Sign the parliamentary petition today to fuel the growth and fund the game.
give a warm welcome to your South Melbourne Hellas.
A very warm welcome to you, wherever you may be watching across the state of Victoria, Australia, or worldwide. It's round 18, final match of the Senol NPLM Victoria men's competition, where South Melbourne FC hosts Green Gully Soccer Club. The 3 points for both sides, very important considering their positions on the ladder, respectively. South Melbourne in 8th place with 3 points today can leapfrog Caroline Springs, George Cross, Preston Lions and Melbourne City to sit in their 5th place position, while Green Gully will not be able to leapfrog anybody. They would start what would be a dramatic escape from the bottom of the table. Adam Palumbi and Katie Lambevsky are your broadcast team for today. Katie, looking at the playing surface, there's really no excuse today for any mistakes from players, considering there's almost picturesque weather conditions. There's no wind, there's no rain. And that surface, as we mentioned earlier, is looking very good.
100% it is, Adam. Good to be with you this afternoon, and good afternoon to everyone tuning in here, wherever you may be. Happy Sunday afternoon. Will this be a happy Sunday afternoon for either Gully or South Melbourne? Only time will tell, but as we mentioned, Matt off the air and in our preview, massive stakes, massive implications. South looking to alter the finals race, to leapfrog some of their closest rivals. They're out here tonight ready to make an impact. Gully, they would be, I don't know, part of them would be very disappointed having gone so close against Hume last week, but they should also take that a lot of confidence that they can contend with some of the toughest teams in the competition. Survival's at stake for them, no two ways about it. Yusuf Ahmed into the team for the first time this year. Daniel Alessi, of course, a new signing. You'll run us through the lineup shortly, of course, but this is a huge game, and I've been looking forward to it all week, so looking forward to bringing with you for this 90 minutes.
Despite what has been a calamitous season for Gully, they have remained united, their playing group. Seeing posts on social media mentioning how, despite times being tough, their mental capacity amongst themselves has been rather positive, and they want to turn the ship around. It's exactly why Andy Vargas has the reins. He has lined up in a similar fashion to how Gully had last week against Hume City. Luka Romic is the goalkeeper. Chad McDougall, Daniel Alessi, the new signing, and Jalal Regaig are the centre-back trio, with Pisani and Kifle the wide players. Cuba and Carlson are the holding midfielders. Joshua Hope is a little bit further forward of them, with both Kerr and Bilal Habib providing all the threat as the two attackers. For Sinishako Hazdic and his side, Javi Lopez is the goalkeeper. Jordan Lampard joins out of Jack Painter-Andrews as the fullback partnership. Thomas Yanakopoulos and Marko Jankovic are the centre-backs. Sebastian Pasquale is the holding midfielder, with Yuki Uchida and Max Mikola as the two holding players. In attack, Noel Bernarda finds himself with Andrew Mezzaruni. Aaron Cox a little bit deeper in the playing lineup. Had missed his name. In fact, he's one of the centre-backs today. Yanakopoulos assisting Pasquale as the holding midfielder. Katie, I want to discuss how South Melbourne have had such a heavy playing timetable in season 25-26. It's been basically a full-time roster, and you have to give full credit to the club and their playing staff for toughing it out and, well, being competitive in all competitions. Think back to last year, of course, their NPL campaign wasn't too great, but was still able to turn things around in such a quick amount of time to win 2 pieces of silverware.
Absolutely. Remarkable effort, not only by Sinishako Hadjic, but of course all the playing staff and all the backroom staff that is in charge with actually making that happen. What an effort that's been. Heavy schedule, as you said, across continents as well. But what an opportunity it is. I think this club has finally become like full professional once again. And this is such an exciting time in its history. And ultimately, you think back to this time last year, it is ridiculous to think just how Shinchuka Hajic has turned this team around. Again, they've always recruited really well, but again, with such cohesion, with such alignment across the board, and some good move in the offing now. Mikola causing some trouble, forced into a challenge there. They want to win the early territory battle here, South, and they might do well to get a free kick in a dangerous position.
Max Mikola going for a trademark long throw-in. Free kick was earned, and South are looking to threaten early. Luka Romic organising the wall at his near post. Jordan Lampard completely unmarked on the edge of the area. We know he can strike them. Quite the clubman, as Mezzaruni was the option which came shorter for a shot. It never really bothered anybody. It was along the tarmac. Not too much venom. Banana tries something industrialist. Gag happy to clear. Painter Andrews will go back to his keeper, Javi Lopez, and we'll have a look at the bench for South Melbourne. David Yu, their recent signing, and number 7 to add, joins Luca Coveney, Jordan Swibble, James Lackey, Jack Pope, and understudy goalkeeper Jake Charleston. As for Gully, Jonathan Kolev, Matthew Crooks, Gianluca Iannucci, Nathan Symes, Rushan Tafuni, and the man in question of Yusuf Ahmed, who has been struggling to get his body right in season 26. But when he's playing, certainly is a player that you, if you're a manager, keep a very sturdy eye on.
Absolutely, no two ways about it. Coming back off a major hamstring injury that required surgery to get fixed, and just to get back in this season, I think is quite the achievement for Yusuf Ahmed. I'm sure we'll see him later on in this game, but it'll be just an achievement in and of itself just for him to take the field. Of course, he has that prior relationship with the now Gully coach Andy Vargas, who joined, of course, late this season. That's a story in and of itself in this match. Looking forward to it. So looking forward to see how he performs and whether he can be a player that actually helps Gully stave off the very present threat of relegation. Defensively, Gully needs to be a lot more stout, and I think LSU will help with that as well, and there's a new recruit.
I think back to last week, it was Diego Cuba who was playing centre-back at one stage. Gully, unfortunately, on the receiving end of many injury concerns in season 26. They've certainly been up against it. Personnel change in that position as well, considering Taufik Olmawewe, another player who departed the club, as the cross comes in with real shape towards the back post. Giannakopoulos was there. It was Pasquale who watched us. Mezzaruni was lurking with a real threat. He wants to strike Mezzaruni. We've seen it a couple of times now. Cox with another corner. Can South threaten? They've had a decent start. Can they personify it with a goal? It's swung into the near post. Out of the way by Alessi. Habib couldn't do much with the ball. Mikola will cross. Ankovic, uncharted territory for the centre-back. Giannakopoulos, Pasquale. Trying to find Uchida. Regag with a clearance. Painter Andrews sends it back up and high. Regag heads away. Kerr trying to find some involvement. It's an intriguing duo, Kerr and Bilal Habib. Two very threatening players, have applied their trade many times at different clubs to showcase their attacking prowess in the competition. Cox trying to step inside. Mikola awaiting possession, wanting it to come towards him on the broadcast flank, although Lampard unable to retrieve the ball for South. Gully throw. Habib, not quite. Lampard was important to win the ball for South there. And Cox will progress forward. Waiting the cavalry, Cox. Confronted by Alessi. Backtracking Kerr. The party trick to boast. This party trick won't help him. It goes out of play.
Got to give it up for his work rate, though. Coming back in off defence to really stave off the threat of Jordan Lampard, who's always ever present with his running ability down fullback. So you got to wonder whether the Gully wingers will be forced to really do their defensive work. I think Andy Vargas will have that instilled in them, but again, you can't have him pinned back for too long. So South just continuing to win this territory battle as Mikola goes long.
Long thrown by Mikola. Uchida off the volley. Hits a body. So Gully setting up defensively behind the ball. Quite the block, as has to be a card you'd assume, and it will be. Lampard into the book early. Pisani was certainly galloping away and dropped the shoulder. For a moment, had found an opening.
Coming back there was Jordan Lampard. Left Caitlin Williams, our referee, in the middle today. Little choice but to offer up the slice of cheese there for him. Good response here by Gully. They've been pinned back. Carlson needing the time to roam here. What can you make of it?
Carlson, lovely ball. Inside the area, chance. Flying over the crossbar, Habib had arrived early. The cutback was correct enough to open things up for a shooting chance. Habib not too far away, but that's an early warning sign from Andy Vargas and company.
Need to be watchful of the transition, and you think Shirin Chukwuhadzic would have made that as part of his team talk. That's a good recovery. Mikola now in some decent space. He opens up the play wide.
Cox got around his man, couldn't keep his feet. Romic will sweep things up. Bernarda pressing off the ball in front of the South Melbourne faithful. Another long Max Mikola throw forthcoming. Danger signs when this is the case. Mikola towards Jankovic. Kerr wanting to escape on the break and does so. Gets around Pasquale, and Joshua Hope is on for the pass. So is Habib. Kerr got caught in two minds and in the end wasn't able to pick out either of the two advancing teammates in the counter-attack, which boasted numbers for Green Gully.
Lovely move in the offing now. Unfortunately, it was just that moment of indecision that I think ended that move. But that's a promising sign. Once again, Josh Hope getting into some really good space. They had the overlap. They had the 3v2. That's a situation where Gully will thrive, so they need to stick at it. What can they make of this?
Ooh, Jankovic wasn't aware of the pressing Kerr. Showing some work rate today. The former Avondale attacker, he's in possession now. Kerr. Pisani opening things up. Regag. Pisani. Mikola on a heavy press. Mezzaruni thought he was away. Nice build-up of spectators at Lakeside Stadium today, and why wouldn't there be, considering the weather conditions for June are very welcomed. It's warm, you'd assume you're on a holiday if you're watching from somewhere not in Victoria. Enjoying this patch of warmer climates. It's Pasquale. That's a nice ball for Bernarda. He's running at McDougall. Bernarda. Romic watches it sail wide, but South Melbourne, they're warning sign of their own, Katie.
And a team that Noel Bernarda will know oh so well in Green Gully. Of course, playing against his former side here today, and he's always never wants to limit lacks for motivation, does he, Bernardo? And I don't think, and even more so here today, doesn't take a lot for him to get involved in a game, doesn't take a lot for him to have an impact. Said it before, I'll say it again, I think he has an element of Carlos Tevez to his game in the way that he attacks, he presses, never gives up on any half ball, half chance. What a player he's been in the NPL Victoria for such a long time now.
Uchida and company wanted a foul, they won't get. Kerr in behind for Bilal Habib, who takes a lovely first touch. And he scores! Brilliant finish from Bilal Habib, and Green Gully have fired first in this clash.
It's a goal for Green Gully FC. The score is South Melbourne 0, Green Gully 1.
It felt as if there was going to be an early goal, and it's Green Gully, the side who sit at the bottom of the Senol NPL Victoria competition, who have gone and got it.
First blood to the boys in green. And what a moment that is in this game. A battle through the midfield, not always pretty on the eye, but dearie me, Gully won't mind at all. Bilal Habib, the one to get on the end of that move. They've been threatening to get in behind. They've breached South's defences a couple of times already. South potentially failing to heed the warning there, and Gully take full credit, and the Gully take full advantage of that. 1-0 to the visitors.
Cox with a deep ball inside the area. For an instant reply, Mezzaruni couldn't direct the header. Chance on target. Such a well-taken goal from Habib. So much composure. Brilliant first touch to have the ball set into his path. And once Javi Lopez had committed, well, Habib knew exactly what to do against his former teammate. Of course, as an Australian Championship winner with South. Regaig heading away. Kerr. It's instrumental in the build-up to Gully's opening goal. Pisani. Not to a teammate. Pasquale. Yankovic. Nice cut out Habib. Painter Andrews. In a tussle with Habib. Painter Andrews wins that occasion. Mikola. Looking for a cross. With purpose. Head of the way. Alessi. Gets it cleared. Kerr. Latches onto Lampard's pedestrian attempt at a contest. Mezzaruni. Uchida. Cox. Deployed on that left flank today. Low-driven cross comes in. It's cut out by Alessi. South have a set-piece opportunity. Yankovic and Yanakopoulos making their way towards the box. Sunshine nearly in the eyes of Romic as the corner's taken short. Lampard on the cutback. He's been menacing all on his own on a few occasions now. Jordan Lampard unmarked on the edge of the area. We know he can strike them. And he struck that effort sweetly.
Of course, that was the third corner of the afternoon for South, and it nearly paid off, didn't it? They went short. Lampard again, that's a really tricky run to mark. He had an acre of space and he nearly made Gully play. He nearly made Gully pay for that, It looked like something from the training pitch and it nearly came off. They just need to stay patient. They might need to stay patient as well throughout this afternoon. South Gully, particularly looking defensively resolute. But a lot of focus is going to be needed by defence. You can't be allowing Lampard that level of space. Sending it a long way back is Alessi, of course, the man from Dandy Thunder. South in a bit of a hurry to get this back up and going.
A massive opportunity for the hosts today to insert themselves into the top 4 race. They would sit fifth if they were to win. They would leapfrog Melbourne City, Preston Lions, Caroline Springs, George Cross, all in the process if they were to win, but they're up against it now, trailing by a goal. Gully looking to strike on the counter whenever they get the chance. For Andy Vargas, when you boast players like Bilal Habib, Kerr, not to mention the likes of Gianluca Iannucci and Yusuf Ahmed on the bench, there's so many really impressive household NPL Victoria names in attack that you can choose from, especially on the counter. Katie, they can be ever so damaging if given the opportunity. More on that in a moment, as it was Cox, who's been very busy to start this match. Thought he was going to be deployed a bit deeper for Sinishoka Hazdic. You're finding him further up the pitch. But on that earlier note for that of Green Gully, so exciting to have so many very talented attackers at your arsenal on the counter.
Yeah, absolutely, and particularly Aaron Cox and how direct he is. When you pair it together with the magic touch that Uchida possesses, he might do so again here. But it's well marked. Painter Andrews linking up with Mikola to the byline, and it's well blocked. Cries for a handball, but I think referee Caitlin Williams having none of it. South still adamant. Brilliant block by Alessi there. I don't think there was much in it. But again, we don't have the best angle, we don't have the best view from here necessarily, but never mind that now. Mikola's going to be the one to send it in long once again.
Mikola, very long throw in. Jankovic, high header. Uchida tries to compete, headed away by Alessi. Mikola back into the area. Regag heads away, had the height advantage. Trying to spin with the ball was Pasquale, and now Kerr wants to run down the flank. He's isolated. Kerr stepping onto his left. Chance for Gully. Painter Andrews had gone in very firmly for his body at the ball to prevent Kerr from doing anything with real substance. And as a result of such, remains on the tarmac.
A little bit worse for wear, but he's back up on his feet. Little margin for error there. Did Jack Painter Andrews could not allow his forward to pass there. Kerr cutting to the byline. He threw everything at it. This will be a corner to show for Gully, though. What can they make of it?
Cuba with the cross from the corner. Can the Cavaliers strike a second in this one? Deep ball. Lopez gets it away. Kifle couldn't control. Mikola rolling it wide. There's Rooney. Really showcased his ability in not just the Australian Championship but the OFC Pro League. Scored some fantastic goals. What was a stellar campaign for the eventual runners-up. Kifle opted to try find something on the attacking front. Pass was pedestrian. It's a lovely switch from Painter Andrews. Diagonal off the ground, don't mind that. Cox. Lampard. Uchida. Lampard's cross. Jankovic comes across, trying to keep the move alive for South. Cuba won the ball. Hope. Desperate to try keep it, however. The whistle sounds. Foul for South Melbourne. On the very inside of their attacking half. So far, so good for the visitors.
Yeah, full marks to Gully just defensively in the way that they've approached this game. They've been built to attack. You'd be very wrong to say that they're parking the bus, though. This is a team that is here not just to sit and hit. It can also be capable of exploiting these transitions. They're not here just to absorb pressure. South almost feel spooked by the prospect of that.
Gully settling behind the ball. There's a Rooney trying to rampage through. Mitchell will have a goal kick. Was quite the contest last week for Green Gully. They certainly showcased that there is some fight left in them this season. It was matched by the courage shown from Hume City. They're currently in second place, really chasing none of the Cannons. They're a point away from them on the ladder. It's an impressive come-from-behind victory, considering Gully were leading by 2-0 at the 52nd minute mark of that match. The hosts able to score twice in 5 minutes, and then eventually with Godfrey DeBella off the bench there to have the comeback complete, winning 3-2. Hume City were equally as impressive yesterday when they travelled to Dandy Thunder. A 3-0 victory on the road. Bingham, Engelhart and DeBella all on the score sheet. Something about Godfrey DeBella in scoring inside the final 10 minutes of regulation time. It was in 2 consecutive weeks. The Hume number 9 doing that.
With that being said, Adam, do we now put Hume as the sole challenger to the leaders in Oakley? Ultimately, Avondale costly with a costly defeat on the road to Dandy City this on Friday night as well. The title race is just shaking up with each week, it seems.
2 wins off our Avondale from Oakley. As the cross comes in, Romich. Comfortable, the young goalkeeper. In terms of the title race and the available position from Premier's spot available in the Australian Championship, wouldn't say it's a 2-horse race yet. There is still just a couple of months, a bit more than that left of football to play in the regular season. Oakley with a very important win last night against Heidelberg at the Village. Great communities uniting to all come together and enjoy quite a game of football. Mikola keeps it alive. Nice first touch. Cross towards the back post, cut out. Pasquale desperate to keep the move going for those in blue. Painter Andrews wants a throw in, he'll get one. It's going to be one of those seasons, Katie, I assume, that goes down to the final day. Looking at how close every club is, bar Green Gully. But who knows if they can get their season saved. Leicester City-esque have to be that kind of way. They do so, but they're not mathematically out the race yet. As Romich comes out again. Throws it long for Hope. Coming together with the former Melbourne Victory youth teammate of Pasquale. Over the top. That's a nice ball for Habib. Awaits the cavalry. Kerr. How can Gully play their cards right here? Smart from Kerr. to find another corner, which Diego Cuba is striding towards the corner flag to take.
Great block there by Yiannakopoulos to deny Kerr. Problems still for South on the break that Kerr and Habib are really only too keen to explore and exploit, I should say. Cuba to stand over this corner once again, but the pressure on the counter keeps mounting for South. Even when they're having the majority of the possession, the majority of the territory, Gully just don't look overawed at all.
As it currently stands, this would snap quite the run without wins for Gully. It was an awkward ball which came in. Bib goes down. Cavaliers cry for a penalty. Those protests went on deaf ears. Mezzaruni unlocked by Painter Andrews. On the counter, Mezzaruni. Not around Cuba. Keeps the ball in play, had no one in support. Lampard. Jankovic for Yiannakopoulos. Pasquale, Painter Andrews. Deep cross. All read by Alessi, who's been getting his head onto everything so far. Lampard, Uchida. The crossing chance for South Melbourne. Uchida onto his right. Oh, Bernardo arrived. The cross had deflected on its journey through, and Romic had to be vigilant, and the keeper was.
The zero margin for error there. Luka Romic, but he does brilliantly. Just Gully unable to deal with that move there. Nearly being turned in onto the net. Into the back of the net, I should say. So often the understudy, Luka Romic, has had to make that goalkeeper position his own in the absence of Michael Wyatt. We'll have to step up here once again as South go long.
The corner count continues to rise. Off the ground, the cross comes in. Lampard. Uchida trying his best to arrive. It was hit with real purpose from Lampard. He always manages to get such drive onto his set pieces, as Uchida had drifted into an offside position following the diagonal ball. In terms of recent form, well, in their last 5, Gully have only taken a point. For South, 4 points. Their most recent win against the Bentley Greens. Only recently away from home. 5-1 result. They'd scored 3 goals by the 25th minute mark. That was an impressive showing. Prior to defeat at home to Altona, a 1-1 draw against Hume. 4-0 loss to Avondale and a 4-0 loss to George Cross. So it's been a mixed bag of results. But goals are certainly guaranteed when it comes to South Melbourne. They're scoring them or conceding them. Gully have been slightly more defensively tuned. Honourable losses against Avondale and Heidelberg. 2 and 1 goal defeats respectively. A draw against the Georgies. And despite leading last week, had a comeback complete against them when at Hume City. So an intriguing start to this matchup. Not sure which way it's going to bode. Lampard's had a few opportunities from set pieces to infiltrate. He just hasn't seemed to find that finishing touch yet, the number 3.
And that's it. If it's going to be like that for Gully, then Luka Romic is in for an easy afternoon. They just got to do better at that final pass, at that delivery here, South. They've been knocking at the door. They've been good energy-wise and they've been good structurally, but they just need that final pass. They need someone just to step up and take this by the scruff of the neck. Habib there on the drifting onto the right side. Can't quite make anything of it. fascinating to think that somehow this Gully side has not recorded a win. Of course, the previous, I guess, coaching lineup has a lot to answer for in that respect with Andy Vargas. I think his effect is starting to take hold as Bernarda's on the chase, high on the shoulder. Alessi needs to be point here. Bernarda drills past his marker, block on the line, still in play. Gully, all hands up the wheel there. Noah Bernarda, how did he not score?
It's pressing with intent, Bernarda. And Kerr at the other end forces Javi Lopez to come a fair way. Bernarda all on his own for South Melbourne. Unable to score, but certainly showcased tenacity to open a chance up for an equalising goal. Now that's awoken Gully. On the switch. Well played by Alessi. Pisani couldn't control. Mikola back to his keeper Lopez. Regaig. McDougall was very short. Carlson. Regaig. Hope trying to break the lines. It's called for the ball ignored by his centre-back, Giannakopoulos. On the switch. Very well played. Kifle wasn't sure. Cox advancing. Bernarda at the near post. It's looking lively. Noel Bernarda. Gut-busting run to beat his man at the near post. The effort just wide of Romic. South fans trying to act as the 12th man. At the moment finding their voice. Bernarda is finding a real intrigue to find an equaliser.
No two ways about it. He looks the man most likely for Hellas. And that's exactly where I think Aaron Cox will thrive as well, getting into that space. He has the directness. He has a very real, for lack of a better word, bluntness to his play. He's aggressive, his front foot, he can press, and he can also put his team forward and be an outlet in those positions. That was brilliant work from him. Bernarda again lurking. Gully doing well to deny him, but South is starting to press up the intensity and some pace around the ball and some energy. 10 more minutes in this half. You want to see them only up that. I think they've been a bit too passive in certain moments. Perhaps that Gully counter-attack threat is keeping them on their toes, keeping them pinned back like you see here. Fascinating, intriguing contest right here and now.
Javi Lopez playing as a 6. Trying to get South to press higher. That's the call. Background level. From Green Gully, they want to win the ball, and they have, and hope. May have had a chance. Habib acknowledged the run. Cut out by South defensively. Painter Andrews. Pass won't find Uchida or Bernarda. Habib. Ever so dangerous. Lost in the idea there. Giannakopoulos. Painter Andrews. Nice pass. Uchida. Cox. Play opening up out wide. Bernarda in a central position for South. Cox has the beating of Kifle. Cross comes in. Good looking ball to Mezzaruni. Lets it roll. Mikola. Driving effort. Andy Vargas vocalising to his side that was too easy. As South registered yet another shot on goal.
Mind you, we have an athletics racing track in front of us and we can hear Andy Vargas clear as day from up here. Again, he knows the stakes for his side. They're so high here today. But his passion, trying to get his Chargers over the line here. They've done well for this 30-plus minutes or so. They've got still a long way to go. A lot of football left in this game. South on the march here potentially. They got a good opening. Cox has Lampard in support running forward. He honours the run, but it's not on point. Inaccurate. And Gully will be only too happy just to mop up from there. Jankovic and Kerr caught in a tangle there. Wasteful from South. That was a golden move in the offing, you'd think. But again, it's just that presence of mind from Gully, just defensively, just to keep South at bay once again. Of course, you can't forget who South have in reserve. Geordie Swibble and David Hughes, so they've still got attacking firepower to come. So Shinsuke Hajic, I might think, well, they'll be playing on his mind as he gets ready for the halftime team talk.
Pasquale is compact by a few Cavaliers pressing hard off the ball. Kerr has had a great start to this game. He's feeling it today, Kerr. Habib wanting to open things up. Javi Lopez wants the ball quickly to get the ball kept in play. South might have to rely on what's on the bench. You'd assume Sinishak or Hasdic doesn't want that to be the case just now. Would want a response on the scoreboard from those currently on the Lakeside Stadium playing surface. Habib nearly cutting things out. Yanakopoulos. Mikola. Pasquale. Lampard. Pisani has time. Habib onto Pisani on the return. Yanakopoulos with the foul. Carlson hasn't had an awful lot to do. Was very impressive against his former employer in the honourable loss for Gully last week out of Hume City. Hasn't done an awful lot today, but hasn't been poor in any regard. Regag picks out Kerr on the switch nicely. Keflay chasing. Well read defensively by Cox. Alessi comes across. It was a stumble from Painter Andrews. Habib, Pope ahead of him. Habib onto his right, cut out by Yanakopoulos on the edge of the area. And Green Gully have a free kick in a very promising position.
A few disputes from the South Melbourne players, but I don't know if they have a fair call on that. Our referee was really sure of that decision right away, wasn't she? In a little spot of bother now, Bilal Habib, as the trainer makes his way out to the middle. And this is a potential golden chance here in the offing. Joshua potentially a candidate to take it. Diego Cuba on set piece duty, at least from the corner so far. And time for Javi Lopez, as you can hear him organising his wall. 5 men, it looks like. This is a dangerous moment potentially for South and potentially a golden moment here for Gully. Habib slowly making his way up on his feet. He might have to head to the touchline and get further clearance and get further treatment perhaps. Keep an eye on the bench. Gully might be forced into an early first half of early change here now.
Taking in some deep breaths. Bilal Habib in conversation with his trainer. Won't be in between the white lines. He'd speculate while the free kick is taken. Hope, Kerr and Cuba in a real conversation here. Habib appears to be okay. Undergoing some running tests. He won't be involved, but Diego Cuba looks as if he's about to strike. On the edge of the box, a real chance for Gully to make it 2 before the cusp of half-time. Diego Cuba for Green Gully. Hits the wall. A follow-up. Well and truly wide. From a Cavalier perspective, underwhelming. Habib is okay. He'll continue in this match. But in the end, Cuba had the opportunity from the set piece. He's been renowned for striking free kicks from opportunities in areas like such, but that time around, Katie just never was able to have the ball bend around the wall.
Yeah, fair play to the Hellas wall. They're really well organised, well structured. Cuba couldn't quite make his mark on that one. But no time to worry about that. South is still going to go forward here again.
Pasquale trying to get the beating of Kerr. Still with possession, Pasquale. Lofting it in, Mezzaruni. Somehow South will have a corner. Regag was never able to get an adequate foot or body part in the clearance, and it skews out for a South Melbourne corner. Last 2 minutes of regulation time. Cox with the cross, a very deep ball. Romic had to put a hand onto it. Lampard would want that back. As the effort miscues out of play and behind for a goal kick. Yanakopoulos wins the header. Mikola. That's tidy. Cox. Snuffed out by Alessi. Pasquale lofted. All bounced away from him. Jankovic. Wide for Lampard. Has the beating of Kerr. Lampard. Body use from Bernardo, who went down. Alessi in a wrestle. Not deceiving the official that time around, Bernardo. Throw in taken quickly. Overzealous, perhaps South are becoming. Another goal kick for Romic.
They can't fall into the trap of just trying to force the issue, right? Again, it will probably lead toward them looking for passes that aren't quite there. Almost that's just going to play right into Gully's hands. Almost beating your head up against a brick wall type of thing, so they just have to be smart. And the way they approach this is we have enter as we wait the verdict on stoppage time. Romic sends it long.
Yanakopoulos may have lost it in the sunshine. Lopez has had to deal with that the entire first half.
The fourth official has indicated there will be a minimum of 2 minutes of added time.
As mentioned by Neil Simons on the ground announcing duties, 2 minutes of extra time in this first half. Your Chitters cross. Keeping it in the area. Mikola goes down. Nothing doing, says the official. Jankovic for Lopez. South wants an equaliser. That defensive block from Gully. Working so far in this match. Yanakopoulos keeps his feet. Wants to go on a journey. Does the defender. Corner. Pisani thought he was fouled. Can Lampard find an end product from this corner situation? Pasquale coming short. Lampard ignoring the option, wants to send this right into the box. He does so. Brilliant ball in. Regag heads away. It's been a busy customer for Gully in this match. Mikola jogs across. Can South find something late? Mikola towards the near post. Romic very well claimed from the goalkeeper. had all eyes for the ball in these last few seconds of the first half. As it currently stands, the opening goal from Bilal Habib is the sole difference maker in this one. And that will be half-time.
Half-time at Lakeside Stadium, the score is South Melbourne 0, Green Gully 1.
The Cavaliers enter the break with a one-goal lead, courtesy of Bilal Habib. It was a well-taken finish to beat Javi Lopez. And that is the state of affairs here at Lakeside. South Melbourne 0, Green Gully 1, as we cross to half-time. The halftime break has come and gone, and all players are now back on the pitch here at Lakeside Stadium for the second half. Round 18's swan song in the Senol NPL Victoria men's competition. Currently sits with Green Gully, who are placed at the bottom of the table, leading against South Melbourne. Bilal Habib embraces one of his former Australian Championship teammates in Noel Banana before the start of the second half. Habib was the sole difference maker with a deft touch finish beyond that of Javi Lopez, who will receive possession right from kickoff. Adam Palombi, Katie Lambevsky on the call. In terms of kickoff routines, Katie, I don't think I've seen one like that in, well, history.
They went long right away, almost willing to give up possession, just trying to set themselves up behind the ball right from the outset. And looks like it's working, at least thus far. Just forces South Melbourne back into their structure. Fascinating second 45 ahead of us. Gully increasingly confident defensively. On the transition, they've looked brilliant with Kerr and Habib on the breaks. Uchida now has 3 for company. Finds a way to get out of that one. Fantastic move. Need to shake it up here. South Melbourne need to put more pace on the ball, speed on the game to force Gully back on their heels. This is a Gully that, for all intents and purposes, doesn't really look deterred about what happened last week, that heartbreaking loss, albeit honourable loss to Hume City on the road. They're coming ever closer to a breakthrough win here now. Can they hold firm?
It is a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. Certainly a longer way to earn the 3 points. If you're Green Gully, they have a long time left in this match. But it would be an impressive feat. Mandy Vargas and company, if they were to attain all 3 points on offer. It's been a difficult season for the Cavaliers. But if the great escape from the last spot on the ladder, automatic relegation position, was to begin, a win here would be their flag stamped on that, as Mikola had a piercing throw-in. Pasquale, Uchida lofted, Lampard edge of the area, cut out by Kerr. Mezzaruni with the acceleration. Wheels past Kerr. Uchida wins the ball back inside the area for South Melbourne. McDougall can only clear as far as Habib, who's in a wrestle. Painter Andrews has to be cautious. And wasn't so, as the whistle sounded, awarding Green Gully a free kick. Can Lakeside come to life from a South Melbourne equaliser, or will Gully decide to find the match's next goal to double their advantage? Kerr, quite the goal contribution from the attacker today. Effort from downtown arrives. It was Regag shooting. Javi Lopez seeing it all the way through into his mid-grip. Painter Andrews. Trying to turn, Mezzaruni loses possession. Carlson has Habib on for the pass. Inside the area, Carlson, so is Kerr. Gully have a chance here. Flag's gone up to indicate offside. Kerr has his arms stretched out towards the assistant referee, saying, how can that be the case? Javi Lopez with a double save, although all to be in vain as the flag had gone up.
Yeah, but it has to be said as well, presence of mind and concentration, even there once again by Javi Lopez, just playing to the whistle. Basic stuff yet, still quite difficult. Bernard in a tussle here. He's on the break. Has Uchida for help, and he makes it just in time. He's got 2 for company. Still Uchida, brilliant work But can't quite get a final purchase on it. South pressing here.
McDougall was cautious. Both sides happy to shoot from well and truly outside the area. Trying to force a deflection effort onto each opposing goalkeeper. Might be the idea from those shots which come from well and truly outside the 18-yard box. Painter Andrews loses out and had to concede a foul. They're winning the ball back in the midfield are the Cavaliers. Regag. Long from the free kick. Javi Lopez was routine. Lampard has built quite the rapport with Marko Jankovic throughout the years. Fullback and centre-back partnership, which has brewed. Right in front of Andy Vargas, a throw in for South Melbourne. Regag clears, Kerr keeps the ball. Has the motor, not the body. Uchida wins the ball back. Mezzaruni will chase. Alessi happy to clear. Mikola playing it quickly. The 1-2 with Pasquale. Mikola. Kiflay. Fouled.
And just that frustration building for South here. They can't afford to let that get the better of them. I don't think they are, to be honest. No changes from Shinsuke Hadzic nor Andy Vargas at halftime, it should be said. Both sides starting this half as selected. So just goes to show you that South just aren't too yet deterred or too concerned just at the moment. But again, every minute becomes precious. Bernarda pushing forward here, sends it back to Romic. Bernard not giving up the chase. It's just those margins of error. That's exactly what South need, that work rate. Hurrying up Gully and just forcing possession right back to the home side where they want it. That's the type of speed I think we were talking about at the break, Adam. It's just they have the ability to execute. That chance will come, but whether they have the ability to put that away remains the question. They've got firepower in reserve, it must be said. And I'm certain we'll see the likes of new recruit David Yu and, of course, Jordan Swibble, their main man, their main goal-scoring threat. And that's poor from Romic. That's going to force South right back forward.
Alessi couldn't control. That was a deep Romic pass. Lots of power in defensive quarters. Lampard. Back to veteran Javi Lopez. Painter Andrews. South have liked the switch today. Lampard. Jankovic. Pasquale. Lampard. Bit of pace about the ball movement from South Melbourne. Uchida. Hustled by the intercepting Alessi. Who's had a pretty decent shift so far from centre-back for Green Gully. And Akopoulos loses out. Cuba has two options on for the pass. Hope rather, wasn't sure where the ball had gone. He's in possession now, Hope. Chance for Gully. Across the face of goal, Lopez got a hand onto it. Kerr was there to bundle in. And Green Gully, in very similar fashion to last week, have struck twice.
Goal for Green Gully. The score is South Melbourne 0, Green Gully 2.
Nearly the exact same minute mark from the same time they scored against Hume City last week to put them 2 goals to the good. Kerr inside the area. Lopez unable to deal with what was a great ball in from Hope. And the Cavaliers have doubled their money.
And that they have. It's just that work rate off the ball once again from Gully that reaps absolute rewards. Josh Hope putting in the work to break free then to set his side forward. And the ability to execute stands out once again. Kerr doubling up for now, doubles Gully's lead. Putting South further back on heels, mounting the pressure on South here at Lakeside. An upset in the offing, a boil over in the offing. What an effort this is. South go forward right from the kickoff. And that's brilliant from Regard to come across. South wasting little time in trying to get back here. Not a minute to spare. I wonder if that will force Kahadzic into the change. Some movement on the bench will keep an eye on it, but it's going to be a corner.
Cox from the corner. South need now 2 goals to get back onto level terms. Pasquale, Lampard on the edge of the area, can hit them. He's had ample opportunity today, Jordan Lampard. And I'm sure internally would be ruing at the fact that on all occasions hasn't really showcased his best.
Defensively still sound, defensively still very solid Lampard, no two ways about it, but again, it shouldn't be on him to rally and execute up top. You have the defenders to do, you have the attackers to do that, excuse me. I understand he's trying to be an outlet here, but just need more contributors. On every line, you look at Gully, they have contributors pushing this result forward. Every dedication to the cause. And South just need that similar kind of mentality. Kerr once again causing a bit of trouble. Hope joining him. Jankovic having to stand tall. Carlson, as you pointed out, solid as ever. So he wins back possession in a good area of the ground. And South are just, almost at a loss to find an answer to this Gully transition, to find an answer to this Gully resolute attitude. Pushing forward again are the green and white, the Cavs. Confidence building. Great work, Pisani crossing across the goal. It comes Jankovic and just puts it out for a corner. Deary me, this is a Gully side growing in confidence.
All stemming from their 2 attackers of Kerr and Habib. Playing with a true new lease of freedom. Are on defensive duties now for... In fact, no, they're on offensive duties. Another corner for Green Gully. Swung in by Cuba. Jankovic heads away. Mikola will try his luck by himself running forward. Uchida coming down the line. South able to push further back up the park. Lopez. Yanakopoulos. Substitutions warming up for both sides. We speculate the involvement from each individual substitute, which they may have on the match at the moment, whether Andy Vargas wants to find some more goals in this one to see out the result as Mezzaruni blazes over the crossbar. Well, it appears as if Josh Hope remains a little worse for wear. Up on his feet, Hope. Bromwich. Floodlights have been switched on at Lakeside Stadium. Sun setting in the backdrop. The sun hasn't set on Green Gully's time in the NPL Victoria just yet. And a result here today could be the sunrise of their late rejuvenation. It will be an escape from last place. Katie, think about how other clubs like Dandy Thunder, Bentley Greens, Altona, and both even St Albans and Dandy City all ahead on the ladder to Green Gully. And they've bolstered their sides heading into the final stages and league matches of the season. You speculate Green Gully in there, what could be late escape. They'd have to be perfect, but so far in this match where that campaign would have to begin, they've been pretty much that same vein of playing rather well.
100%. They needed a circuit breaker. They need to lift, and it feels like it's happening before our very eyes, to be honest, Adam, here for Gully. You mentioned those teams, Bentley and Dandy Thunder. Now, I think pure relegation fodder, just considering where they're at form-wise and considering the losses in the transfer window that has just opened up. I can't see them escaping. Gully, for as crazy as this may sound, looked like the team to jump through, but still so much football ahead of us this season. Gully looking forward here, but that's not going to trouble anyone. Looking good, though, to rework that, it was Pisani. Just starting to link up with some passes now. This is good football from Gully.
They are 8 points adrift from Dandy Thunder. However, after this match, 8 becomes 5. They join them on the same amount of matches played, on 18. Well, they can't control other results outside of the matches they play in Green Gully. Have to hope that the likes of Dandy Thunder, Bentley Greens and Altona are to all not take the full 3 points on offer.
Substitution for South Melbourne FC coming off number 22, Max Mikola, and coming on number 13, James Lackey, and coming off number 19, Andrico Mezzaruni, and coming on number 7, David Yu.
So double substitutions from South Melbourne. Attacking changes. Lackey and Yu. Mezzaruni thumps the bench in frustration. Kifley had to come across. Pressing was David Yu, but on the earlier point of Gully, they'll have to hope that other clubs on top of them aren't to take the full points on offer in their remaining league matches. Some interesting matchups on the turn for home on the season. For all sides, but looking at Green Gully and their next match, which is at Green Gully Reserve, they face the Bentley Greens next Friday for round 19. That's going to be intriguing. They then face Altona, Dandy Thunder, Dandy City. So it's a very important month of football in July. They also face Preston away from home to wrap up the month of July. Some very intriguing matches of football all throughout that time for the Cavaliers. But it would have to start from here. And they currently have a 2-goal lead, although Yoshida will score, but the flag has gone up to indicate offside. Much to the dismay of the South home crowd.
The sound tells the story there. South fans voicing their displeasure. Was in the back of the net via Yuki Uchida. As our linesman had other ideas, it must be said. Gully now looking through Kerr to get forward there, but Lampard does well to deny. This holds his space really well. Can't really fault the changes from Kohardzic, to be fair. Mezzaruni, frustrated as he might have been, just couldn't quite find that final touch. He put in a lot of work on and off the ball, but just couldn't quite be the cutting edge I think that they needed. So I think there's some much needed changes. James Lakai, just someone with that directness who has the ability to trouble a tiring Gully defence. Why not let him run on? Andy Vargas seems pretty content with his lot at the moment, but it's a good move in the offing. South on the far side are going to win a corner, I think. When it was a foul in the lead-up. Once again, Gully just holding firm. Gully just holding their own space, holding firm with the more that South throw at them, the more confident they seem to get.
Still some time, and you'd assume there will be a lengthy patch of added time. But as for Gully, well, they're enjoying this. Leading 2-0. Comparison to last week, hadn't conceded in the 2 minutes following scoring their second. That caveat has been evaded for now. They've held their shape. They haven't faltered to any of South Melbourne's forward pressing and attacking. The hosts still unable to find that final connection inside their attacking half. Kerr will latch on. Yanakopoulos never cleared. On defensive duties was the centre-back trying to stop the threat of Kerr. As it stands, from my perspective, he's the player of the match. Whether you agree or not, you should let us know in the comment section on the NPL Victoria YouTube channel. Uchida. Cuba. Firm but fair. According to the officials, will be a South Melbourne throw in. The Cavaliers weren't too happy about that. They've been taken inside the box to South Melbourne. Lampard, he's not preferred, rolls it. Okay, was involved. Okay. Crossing attempt was blocked. Cavaliers run into each other. Regay not communicating with hope. Desperate for the same outcome. Hadn't vocalised it at ground level, hence they ran into each other. Uchida is offside. Chad McDougall, very contempt, rallying the troops around him. He's central centre-back. This time last week it was Diego Cuba who had found himself playing in a defensive position. Much to everybody's surprise, Katie. He did not look out of place.
He didn't, did he? He really adjusted pretty well in that sense. So it just goes to show you that how important it is to understand each other's roles. So in terms of player by player, just so you can always count on each other to cover. You know, just builds that cohesion, builds each other up. I think it's a unit there. South might be looking to the bench as well. It could be Swivel to come on. We'll keep an eye on that too. Going direct, increasingly going long here, South. Again, they can't fall into the trap of looking for passes that aren't quite there, but this will give them the time to confirm the change.
Substitution for South Melbourne FC, coming off number 17, Thomas Yanakopoulos, and coming on number 9, Jordan Swivel.
Certainly an offensive change made by Sinisa Kohazdic. A defender off for an attacker. Swivel. Been a real handful for opponents this season. He's South Melbourne number 9. Player remains down for Gully. It appears as if Regag may have received a pedestrian arm from Bernarda. See Gully trainers come back on. So Yanakopoulos goes off. Was in the book last week. Had received a yellow card at the 30th minute mark. The Cavaliers getting around that of, I believe, is Regag. On the tarmac, Bernardo inadvertently, or on his own account, was involved. Sure, incidental rather than intentional. So it will be a drop ball. It appears as if Gully are going to sit off. So drop ball for South Melbourne, which Lampard will roll wide. Cox off his right. Good looking cross towards the back posts. McDougall does really well to head away. His teammates appreciated that. Time ticking for South. They have a corner, trailing by 2-0. Spoken a fair amount about Gully, but how about the opportunity that remains ahead for South Melbourne? 3 points here today. Have them inside the top 6 at 5th position. They go within a point of Heidelberg. 2 points clear of Melbourne City. That's if they are to steer this around and score 3 unreturned goals. Never impossible. Corner comes in. Romic punches it away. He's had a lot to do today, the keeper. He's been impressive. Pasquale still going. He crosses in. Romic, all eyes for the ball. How impressive has he been today, Katie?
He's been perfect, to be honest with you. Every chance or every half chance, every threat, he has been increasingly calm throughout. He's controlled his area really well. He had Jankovic bearing down on him in that situation and was able to claim it cleanly. Just needs his teammates ahead of him to stay just as equally as focused and equally up to the task. A big win in the offing.
Chad McDougall was very alert defensively. Had conceded the corner, but the cross that came in from Cox. Very teasing. Well played from the centre-back for Green Gully. Quite the announcement video made by the South Melbourne media team to unveil their new number 7. With reference to Rush Hour 3. Painter Andrews, long throw in. Bernardo, not underneath it. Pisani sent the ball long with a clearance. Lacquet. Pasquale to Jankovic. Stays in play for Lacquet. It's a hard surface at Lakeside. Propped up cruelly for the substitute, who could only fire an errant boot at the bouncing ball. So Gully managing the match well. Managing each situation well. They haven't earned 3 whole points in 17 matches this season. Only 4 points from draws. It's been one of those seasons for Gully they'd want to forget, but they can still save it. And as it currently stands, 16 minutes of regulation time with the added of additional away from stamping down their first win of the season. Hope has Habib on for the pass. This could be the match here for Green Gully. Bilal Habib went the spectacular. And that's what the risk you take, I suppose, when going for a chip. Whether it's for Panenka from a penalty or from open play. But the coolest man in the place if it comes off. Not so much the same when it doesn't. And Habib, you can tell from this position, Katie, is certainly not pleased with himself, the number 9. Play will resume. charging. Corner South Melbourne.
All happening here at Lakeside. Bilal Habib, dearie me, would have looked an absolute genius if that pulled off, but how calm and cool and collected was Javi Lopez to stand tall in that moment. Made himself big, did everything perfect from a goalkeeping point of view, and allowing South to propel forward here from the corner.
Lampard with yet another set-piece duty. Swibble inside the box, so is Jankovic. He's making some space towards the back post. Jankovic, that was the play. Lampard's cross with lots of whip. As Romic went to retrieve his own ball. Will be yellow carded by the official. Not sure Romic knows about it. But what a chance it was for the first goal scorer in this match. The real significant moment in this second half thus far, by the offside Yuki Uchida effort, which had gone in, the flag denying all comers for South Melbourne. Habib would have had all 3 points wrapped up if he was to score. It's well found in behind by Hope. Scores remain at 2 goals to the travelling Green Gully. Long throw in. Painter Andrews with his hand up for those duties. Pasquale trying to keep things alive. Corner again, South Melbourne. Lampard sprinting to the corner flag. Can they manufacture something late? They are to come back and find a point. South, they'd have to start that comeback claim now. With a goal from this corner. Lampard's delivery. Jankovic rose. McDougall clears away with his head. Hughes cross blocked. Kerr the blocker. Cooks with a corner. Pasquale coming short. Carlson acknowledges the idea. Cox will send it in towards the near post, headed away by Alessi. Pasquale. Cox spinning to find some space. Shot blocked by Cuba. Hugh. Lacquet not able to shift around his man Hope. And Green Gully will have a throw in deep inside their defensive half.
Again, still holding their own, holding firm. Still no changes by Andy Vargas either, so it's backing in his charges to see this one out, and why wouldn't he? Particularly if you look at Daniel Alessi on club debut, on Gully debut this afternoon, hasn't looked out of step, hasn't looked out of place whatsoever in this Gully defence. Making a great first impression. Former Western Sydney Wanderer as well, it should be said, Daniel Alessi. Been nearly just about perfect here. Lampard now in a bit of space. This is where he thrives. What can you make of it?
Cox. Round Kifley. Invited to shoot. Cox. Saved by Romic onto the post. The flag stays down for Swibble, who fires in a goal for South Melbourne. Can their comeback campaign in this match begin? Their number 9 off the bench, instinctive as a number 9 should be. To prod home an effort from close range.
Goal for South Melbourne, scored by number 9, Jordan Swirl.
An interesting few minutes remaining in the last clash of round 18 of the Senol NPL Victoria men's competition.
Jordan Swibble, pure striker's instinct, pure striker's finish. That is Gully now on the break. Kerr. The flag is up just when it looked like he was clear. Going the other way. Gully looking at the third. Trying to find a response, but This has definitely put a spoke in the wheel. This has definitely lifted the atmosphere here at Lakeside. Aaron Cox, brilliant work. He's been persistent all afternoon. On the wing, going forward here, swivel the target, but Romic reads the play beautifully. That's exactly what you want your strikers coming off the bench to do, having an impact. Gully need to hold firm here once again.
For Swivel, 27 years of age, found 10 goals in the OFC Pro League, 2 assists, so 12 goal contributions in 17 matches for South Melbourne. His 9th appearance has found his 5th goal, so it's been a pretty busy season for a player who's really found a new lease on his career with the Oz Championship winners. Looking for a result in this contest now. Cuba has the ball from Lampard. Hit him in the ribcage area. As Kifley will come off. Crooks will come on. The Green Gully trainer will investigate the well-being of one of his players again.
For Green Gully. Coming off number 17, Eluan Kifler, and coming on number 6, Matthew Crooks.
So Matthew Crooks comes on, lots of experience. Defensively sound. Kifley has his night complete. Onto his bench. Through the field of play, was told by the official to go at the nearest exit point. Gully unable to waste some time as Yu crosses in, head of the way. It sits up for Lampard. He wasn't sure whether to shoot or try to find a teammate inside the box. He's caught in two minds. Hope goes down. Uchida will go into the book. Yellow cards being issued a fair amount in this match. For Swibel, his last goal was against the Altona Magic at Lakeside in their 3-2 loss to Altona. Wasn't on the score sheet last week against the Bentley Greens, but scores at an important time for South Melbourne here tonight. While the night sky begins to fall, will Green Gully's lead be much of the same?
Absolutely gorgeous golden hour here at Lakeside on a gorgeous Melbourne day. Fair play aside, the conditions have led to a very open game for these sides. The pitch has held up rather well considering how wet it would have been underfoot with all the frost, but it's again playing to the conditions. I think if Gully have done that pretty well being on the road. South with the momentum to win in their sail. That man Swivel to thank for that. And that'll be, I think, a card to the marksman in that tangle with McDougall. And this is precious moments off the clock for South Melbourne. Again, the focus, the discipline can't fall away here. This game has been played in a good spirit, to be fair. And they need to keep it that way. Will Andy Vargas look to the bench? Potentially Yusuf Ahmed looks to be getting ready as well. We'll keep an eye on this. Precious time ticking away. Every moment, I think it'll be, every minute, like an eternity for Gully, like an hour for Gully. Just need to keep their nerve.
McDougall goes long. Bib the target to Gully. Try to take time off the clock if they find that decisive third goal, which would surely seal all 3 points. Another question to be asked is you gone for a challenge once he'd fallen on the ball and inadvertently had to go out of play. As it appears, The long-awaited return will occur for Green Gully.
Substitution for Green Gully, coming off number 9, Bilal Habib, and coming on number 14, Yusuf Ahmed.
And there is Yusuf Ahmed. Surgery required to treat what was a hamstring injury for quite the talisman across the state of Victoria. The pedigreed footballer, marksman, such a poacher, such a player of high quality. Yet again, if Gully are to win tonight, how important it would be for the Cavaliers to have a fully fit and functioning Yusuf Ahmed. Bilal Habib goes off. Could have scored a brace. Has scored the match's opening goal. Lake. Trying to find some rhythm from the bench in this match, the attacker. Cooks crosses in with real shape to the back posts. Yu was inside the 6-yard area. 4 minutes remain in this match of regulation time. Lampard has a corner. And if our estimations are correct, in NPL football, it has been a long time in between drinks for Green Gully in terms of victories. The corner comes in. Open header! Crossbar obstructed. Romic has ended up in the net. Collateral damage, another one of his teammates who remains on the tarmac. Well, the crossbar still shaking. The trainer will be called on. It's a brilliant header. Swibel throwing his body at it, the number 9.
Bonata, I think, was the one drawing the foul there on Luka Romic, just barreling into the goals, just really taking him out of the contest there. So a definite foul. Referee picking that up instantly. He's back up on his feet. Been immense today, Luka Romic, it must be said. Nearly a year between drinks for Gully in the league. The last time they tasted a win at the NPL Victoria level was a 4-1 win over Melbourne Victory's youth program on the 4th of July last year. Incredible number once you think about it. And welcome home, Yusuf Ahmed. Welcome back to NPL Victoria football. Nearly connecting with his teammate there. South forward again.
2 minutes left of regulation in this match. South Melbourne's throw-in. Painter Andrews. Heavy down the line. Regags had quite the match from centre-back today. Shuts out the play for now. South fans sensing a late bit of drama at Lakeside. Yu. High cross in. Cooks his header. Romic diving on the ball. It's going to be a fair chunk of added time, you'd assume, Katie.
I'd be staggered if it was less than 4 minutes, to be fair. Of course, you had the goals in this half, plus some injury time, plus some injury layups, and some subs. Ahmed now in new colours. Opens up the space for Hope. Needs some runners with him. He's doing well to hold up the ball. Smart play. Smart play.
Kerr trying to keep things in play. Couldn't do so. Yusuf Ahmed having deft touches on the ball. Finding connection with Kerr, who's also another player using the full capability of his stamina today. Lots of running off the ball, on the ball. He's been on the money. Surely has a place in the Round 18 Team of the Week. for his inspired performance. 2 goal contributions. Not the prettiest goal he might have scored, but he won't care, nor will Gully. The assists. Real fine bit of forward craftsmanship. Still time for South. Cox rather. Running at Crooks. Cox stepping inside. Measuring up his options. A reverse pass for Uchida. Edge of the area. Alessi gets in the way. Crooks now can force a counter-attack. Kerr running on tied legs. On fumes. Yankovic. Back to Lopez. 6 minutes of additional time.
Of 6 minutes of added time.
It would feel like an eternity for Green Gully. Who are that amount of time away from their first NPL Victoria victory since the 4th of July in 2025. Can they seal the deal on this late counter forward? Kerr had hope ahead of him. Lampard, Pasquale, and back to his keeper, Lopez. Painter Andrews around Ahmed. On the diagonal switch. Cox and Crooks come together again. Cooks shifting onto his right. Lampard. Free kick, South Melbourne. 359 days it has been for Green Gully. And the pressure, which would have had to be compounding from that last win, they'd be feeling like the world of weight on their shoulders. Can South spoil what would be quite the feat? And streak broken by a club desperate for 3 points at this stage of the competition. High drama. There you go, home show for round 18. Cooks with the delivery. Ahmed inadvertently headering the ball backwards. It favoured Romic. Whether that was intentional or not, we're not too sure, but for the sake of Yusuf Ahmed, he'll be satisfied. He's in possession now. Crooks opened up space on the overlap. Carlson. Cuba. Fine switch. Pisani. Hope. Another player who hasn't stopped running today. Gully have thrown everything at this match. Hope wins it back. Ahmed demanding the ball. Receives it. Shifting inside Yusuf Ahmed. He's told to shoot. Finds Hope instead. Lakeside stunned into silence. Another opportunity for Green Gully to seal all 3 points. And Joshua Hope wasn't far away at all. It required a save from Javi Lopez. The Cavaliers have a late corner. Time precious. The question begs again. It won't appear as if they're going to throw men into the box for the corner. They're going to have the ball sit in the corner position. Goal kick. The call from the assistant. Gully unable to keep it near the corner flag. Much to the disbelief of Yui Ahmed and Kerr. Regage will send the ball towards Albert Park Lake. Painter Andrews, keeps possession for South Melbourne, the substitute. Twisting and turning each way. Romic had to make a tremendous save. Time had stood still. Swibel's effort, forcing Romic into a picturesque save. Diving was the goalkeeper. South aren't going to get many more moments. Another corner. This could be it. Lampard's take, in-swinging ball. Romic heads away. The ball with his fists. The follow-up from you goes well and truly wide, and Gully have possession back.
15 corners is now my count after that from South Melbourne. They've thrown everything but the kitchen sink at Gully. Geordie Swibble, what an impact he's had since he's come on, the goal scorer. This is looming as a remarkable day for Gully, a remarkable day in their club history. They go forward now again.
It can be. They're moments away from that being the case. Less than 90 seconds left, according to our clock. All conclusive with the official. Cooks had Lampard on the overlap, not used. Back to Jankovic. Everybody, bar Javi Lopez, deployed inside Gully's defensive half. Jankovic, very keen to make something happen. Romic, try by all the time he can. The countdown begins for Romic, who hacks the ball forward as long as he can. Yuli Ahmed holding things up. Has Kerr. Yusuf Ahmed now running at Painter Andrews. Ahmed never brought genuine purchase. Javi Lopez, they'd have to go from now south. It'd have to be from here if they were to salvage a point. Long ball forward. McDougall heads away. Yoshida. This is the final attack, you'd assume. Looks wide. Cooks. Devilish bounce. Crooks on his tail. That will be that. 359 days have been long, harsh and cruel for Green Gully. But they have gone and conquered. The winning match, which has evaded their grasp for some time, has left the commentary team speechless. But Green Gully have come to Lakeside Stadium and conquered their long wait for a win. In their wake, they leave South Melbourne by 2-1. Incredible. And it meant the world to their playing staff once the whistle had sounded.
The reaction tells the story. The reaction from the bench, the reaction from the players once that whistle sounds. Andy Vargas and his Chargers will celebrate tonight, and they should enjoy this. What an effort that they've come with here to Lakeside Stadium. All the odds against them. They picked up from where they left off against Hume City last week, and they only bettered themselves. They only gotten better. They backed each other. They backed themselves in. Of course, the new recruit defensively, Daniel Alessi, was massive. Yusuf Ahmed coming along and playing a decent part as well. What a story he is. What a story this is from Gully. They came correct. They came with the right attitude. They came with the right plans. Take a look at the stat sheet. 5 shots but 3 on target. 11 shots but 3 on target for South. Gully, quality mattered over quantity. Focus mattered over just blazing away opportunities. I think South were guilty of that. South just were guilty of not starting. Really, we're just not starting strong from the outset, to be fair. Just they made the early running, but Gully never looked phased. And as a result, they put in a massive, massive effort. Transitional, they looked fantastic in their front three. How often have they looked blunt up top this season? But now all of a sudden that has changed. They were fantastic tonight. Don't take a point of this away from them. They were fantastic. They deserve what they came here for, and they deserve a big, big win. What a moment this is in the season for Gully.
Andy Vargas and company stamp the flag down for a late rejuvenation. They sit 5 points away from Dandy Thunder, and their quest for survival has truly begun. Full time at Lakeside. South Melbourne 1, Green Gully 2. Katie Lembevsky and Adam Palombi signing off. We appreciate your coverage and you joining us for our coverage of Round 18's final match of the Senol NPL Victoria men's competition. Until next Friday, be sure to tune in to more NPL action. The Doherty Cup semi-final is on Tuesday, as well as Nike Cup semi-finals as well. Thank you for joining us, and good night.